And it's me again. How are you? So, a lot to unpack today. And I think everything now has, you can put it all together. So, let me shut the door and I got to refresh my coffee for this. And I just want to let you know if you're not trading open long since the conversations that we had last week and not understanding what's going on in 2025, which is now the year of the dog shit stock. And if you've been trading as long as I have and you've witnessed what went on from 1994 to 2001, you thought that was something? This is has absolutely destroyed that. So when they write books about what we just witnessed, right? This is legend now. Legend. Because what went on in 1999, it was a very select group, right? Yeah, the market was ripping, but there was a select group of stocks, and if you weren't in those, you missed out, and then they all crashed. And if you didn't get out in time, I watched people have great careers, and then I saw the same guy working at the Nissan dealership a couple of months later. I'm like, bro, I just witnessed you making 30 grand turn into 4 million. What happened? He's like, well, I kept using my strategy and I just kept pushing and pushing and I gave it all back. Huh? Why? You didn't take money out and put it in a CD or something or buy a house, or you didn't do anything with the money, you just threw it back into the market. Now, if you let that happen, first of all, that's just irresponsible. But secondly, there's so much more to choose from now to get paid. That's why it's better now than ever before. The accessibility to it and the understanding of it. And when I come on these shows and I do these broadcasts for you and I literally show the rigging of the market, how many times can I show you? And what I'm going to show you in open proves that the market is rigged, and you need to embrace that it's rigged. That helps you stay focused on price action. And if you're like me, and we're going to talk about 9/11, we're going to talk about Charlie Kirk, and we're going to talk about why I'm bearish. I'm a societally bearish person because of society. I lived through 9/11, which immediately made me bearish. I worked at boiler room firms, which immediately made me that my first venture into this industry. I got to witness the criminality of it all. Then 9/11, and just society as the internet has grown, and the vitriol and the hate and disgust that I witness every day. To me, that makes me bearish. And it takes me an extra 2 steps to remind myself none of that matters and nobody cares how I feel, especially the market. Because people that just started in the industry, they're buying the cues today. They don't care that they were $3.99 on some sort of tariff tantrum in April. They don't care. They want in. They don't care that open was 50-cent stock 3 months ago. They want to buy it because it's breaking 750 today and it's going to 10. They want in. They don't care about anything else but that. And more importantly, it's the algorithms. So let me bring it back for a second. By the way, my IPO has come out today. It's ANGX if anybody's interested. Thank you very much. If anybody participated in the SPAC that I brought to you at $11, it went to $60. Hopefully you sold it before they went back to par value. But our SPAC is live, my friends. And if you believe in conservative values of this country and you're looking for family, this is the easy way to describe it. It's the Netflix for family entertainment. They try to steer away from ultra violence or anything. Again, do your own research. We just went live, Angel Studios on the New York Stock Exchange. Not a lot of shares being traded. We also have an IPO coming out that I'm involved in, so I'm waiting for Figure to come out, FIGR. A lot of exciting things going on, especially this market that, as I've said before, and I'm going to rub it in your face one more time, the guy that called me intolerable because I was talking about how shorting is basically short-lived and you're going to die. How's it working out for you? Right? How's it working out for you? You're shorting open at $5. How's that working out? You're shorting the Qs. How's that working out for you? What are you shorting? I mean, you could have shorted Newegg, but I told you to short that one. So again, my attitude towards the market is the right attitude. I let the market tell me what to do. I have to suspend what I believe, my bearishness, my societal bearishness, because that used to be a thing. Saber rattling, you ever heard of that? When countries would be barking at each other like Israel and Iran, shooting rockets back and forth each other. That used to be super bearish. And that would not only make the market go down, it would keep the market down. None of that works. None of what you think is bearish anymore. Seasonality apparently doesn't work anymore, right? We're in it. We're at all-time highs in September. Now the only thing left is Jews in the house say, hey, ho. The only thing left the bears are holding on to, oh, wait till the Rosh Hashanah selling kicks in. Okay, wait till it kicks in. And then what? It's sell Rosh Hashanah by Yom Kippur. Yom Kippur if you're fancy. Yom Kippur if you're not. And the bottom line is, if the market does sell off, then what? Is it going to stop moving? Is it going to stay down? Please. My dad's still long the Qs, still long as Oracle, still long as Cisco. He's 80. He ain't selling. His friends aren't selling because they know we're going higher. And people that are just getting into the industry that are forming their 401ks and their Kios and their Roth IRAs, they're buying stocks on the regular. They're not selling. My son just bought the Qs just a couple of weeks ago. He ain't selling. So just because you think that the market has gone up too far too fast, that doesn't compute anymore. Doesn't matter. People that are bearish this market are bearish for all the wrong reasons. You know when it's time to be bearish? And I'm going to give you a big hint. When we actually go down. Right? And I'm not talking about for 2 hours. Like even on that great morning that we spent Wednesday, a couple of Wednesdays ago, where we actually sold off for 4 hours. Right? And what we do? We rallied into the close and we've been going up ever since. What about the Apple numbers? Remember way back where we formed generational lows? Once generational lows, which is now the 3-month trailing VWAP. Here's your 3-month VWAP. There's the Apple. There's the what was the reason we sold off? That was the something data, job data. And then something who the fuck gives a shit sell off. And each time they're higher lows, right? But the generational low still intact. The triple quadruple bottom right there. So as far as I'm concerned, if you're buying the Qs, you're risking, right now you're risking 34 points to possibly make 500. And that's for long-term investing. So I'll be right back. Okay. 77,000. This guy's up 77 grand. Wow. Nice trade. What's it doing? All right. Hey, what's up? All right, we're back. So normally I don't even work today. Um, I'm old enough to say, well, old enough if you didn't know, I was there on 9/11. And if you don't know my story, I'm going to tell it to you. It was a beautiful day, just like it is right now, going to work with my wife on the train. And I got off the train, and there was already stuff floating in the air. And I heard a plane hit the towers. You're not thinking anything at the moment. So I always had a video camera because I was always doing fun stuff with my crew on the trading floor. So I ran to my office to get a camera to run to film the the towers. And as I'm walking towards the towers, I just see the shadow of the second plane, and I'll never forget that sound. And the ripping. If glass was able to be ripped, that's what it sounded like, a tearing, screeching, and ripping glass and metal. And what was just a couple of things floating in the air became fireballs. And at first you're like, "What the?" And then as they're hitting my arm, I'm like, "Holy shit, I gotta get the hell out of here." So I'm running, and, I get back to my office, and I'm like, "Holy shit." I still didn't really know what the hell just happened, right? Because I hadn't seen it. I thought it was just towers exploding. So get upstairs, we learn about the 2nd tower. All my friends are sitting there freaking out, all their wives, and cell phones were already not really working too well. And, we're all freaking in a panic. And then the Pentagon got hit, and that's when all hell broke loose. We all started crying, cursing, screaming, freaking out, thinking that we're all gonna be drafted into a war. And, I got in touch with my wife, who had just got married. I'm telling her, "I don't know if we should have kids. I think we might be going to a world war or something. This is insane. I can't believe this is happening." And we're all sitting there, and, I finally go downstairs just to see what's going on outside, and you hear that rumble, and the 1st tower falling. From the corner, the dust cloud comes, and you don't even know what you're looking at, just a wall of dirt coming at you. And I just ran into the first bar that I could see, and luckily I'm there, and it was just so sick. And then I was waiting for the dust to clear, and it was the first time I ever had an alcoholic beverage before basically 12. I don't really like drinking during the day anyway. And I'll never forget one guy next to me, he's like, "During tragedy, alcohol is the worst thing you could do." I'm like, "Buddy, I think we're about to go into a world war." I run back upstairs to my office. And then on the 2nd row, waiting for the dust to settle, looking out my window, and, eventually the 2nd tower falls, and that dust cloud comes again, and we're on the 12th floor, and you see it coming up. We're like, "Holy man, we gotta shut the window," and we're just in black, absolute black, and I couldn't get in touch with my wife, and I was kinda scared, and, I'm waiting to hear from her. Finally got in touch with her. So she had to walk from 57th Street down to Wall Street where I was. Everyone's leaving. The only person that was left was me and the guy that owned the firm because his girlfriend, fiancé at the time, was in the towers and couldn't get in touch with her. And sadly, she did perish in towers long and with another friend of ours that we knew from high school. So finally, by the time my wife walked from 57th Street down to Wall Street, it was a ghost town. And I remember ripping up a shirt. We had just got new, and my firm's name was Trader, not Trader's Edge, Edge Trade. Just ripping up shirts, putting them in water, wrapping it around my head, wrapping one around my face, and going out there like it was a nuclear explosion, kicking through the dust. It was everywhere, and there was no. There was like one or two people on the street because this was like 2 3 hours later. I had to wait for my wife. We walked over the Brooklyn Bridge, and all these years later, with everything that's happened in society, and especially what happened yesterday, and that phrase "never forget," we forgot. They don't teach it in schools. It's not part of a curriculum. They don't shut the market down. This is not the market should not be open today. Nobody should be at work. Beyond this should be the most important day of remembrance because this day changed not just America, it changed the way that we live our lives. And when I see these kids parading around the streets of my city, teaming up with terrorist organizations in the city where this happened, the the emotions that come up, it's not good. So when I see this kid get murdered yesterday on TV because of what he believes, whether you believe in what he believes or you not believe, and I see people talking about, "Hey, oh, good riddance." This is a young guy with a new wife, 2 kids that were just murdered. They were just murdered. These kids don't have a dad now, the widow wife. For what? Worse is everybody's pointing fingers right now. We don't know who did it. Everyone's assuming, and that's the problem we have. We're so separate, we're so angry, and some people don't even know what they're angry about. And the useful idiots that are out there that are being basically abducted because they're being indoctrinated by the internet, which is turning out to be bad. The internet's turning out to be a bad idea. They're being indoctrinated. It's a systematic indoctrination because the terrorists have a lot of money. They have the oil and they got the heroin, right? And they know how to do propaganda. And that's why when I hear never forget, not only should you never forget, you should remind everybody you know who the enemies are. And you should make a concerted effort because I know if my kid was out there parading around with a terrorist organization, you're not welcome in the house anymore. It's nice knowing you, son. Beat it. And to and I've seen people that I know listing all the reasons why you shouldn't be sad that Charlie Kirk was murdered. Come on, what's wrong with you? But at the same time, I think you just said it. We had another incident where it was the other side. And that's why people are upset. It's the hypocrisy, and the hypocrisy is the worst part of it. Right. You're right. The hypocrisy of it all is the hurt most that the hypocrisy hurts the most. And that's why I'm not a fan of a lot of what's going on right now. I don't think anybody is. The hypocrisy. Because if it's bad for one side, it's bad for the other. Address it equally, right? Like I almost forgot that story when the and then the guy that got hit with the hammer, right? Everybody laughed it off. It's a terrorist attack. This guy broke into the house getting hit with a hammer. Oh, it's so funny. Yeah, they're making fun of it, but now we're lowering the flags half-mast for Charlie Kirk. There needs to be some sort of equilibrium. But now let's bring it all back. Let's bring it back. bring it back to the fact that we're lucky that we're able to do what we do here on a daily basis. By the way, I think the figure's about to come out. I gotta sell some of my shares. Anybody get the figure IPO? We should be lucky that we get to take a second, we like and again, if you're not addressing 9/11 today to somebody, if you're not talking about it, please do so. Tell your nephew, your son, people, anybody that want anybody you could talk to. This should be a day that nobody ever could explain what happened, and then take a step back and say, "I got a job to do. I got something to do today." And then the market and its massive bullishness, right, reminds me of all that. That not only does everybody just move on, but the market in particular has zero memory of anything negative. It is a forward-looking vehicle, and the future is bright. As much as society is seeming to be tearing each other apart, the market doesn't care. It's an algorithm. And if you really want to try to be bearish, why? You can't be bearish because of societal reasons. That doesn't play. You're not bearish because, well, most people are bearish because they've missed out on the bull market and they're angry. Fucking market going up every day. This bullshit. Why? We have entered a new industrial revolution. Space, rockets, robots, quantum, AI, chips. You guys still own Rambus? RMBS? You should. You still got some AI stocks? You should. You got your quantum, right? You got your space rockets, robots. And I haven't even mentioned the new craze that's going on. All you got to do is mention Bitcoin treasury. I don't even know what that means. But if somebody mentions it, I'm buying the stock. Hey, Bitcoin treasury. What does that mean? I don't know. Stock's ripping. Let's buy it. We are in a market that is so bullish. And to me, we just April 9th started a new bull market. May 12th, power gap confirmed the bullishness. And now, since May 12th, what we've witnessed, the May 12th power gap, let me show it to you. If you guys don't remember, there's the April 9th candle. There's the 12.5% candle that started the new bull market. We consolidated inside the candle, came outside, and then we power gapped on May 12th, ensuring that everybody who's short is dead. And the longs that were still debating whether or not to get back into the market, you had to. And we've been ripping ever since May 12th. And people were still skeptical here. You go, "Oh my god, no, we can't trust this market. It's a bear market bounce." Ah, sure, right, great. Bear market bounces. Well, bear market bounce. People still think this is a bear market bounce. Trust me, they do. But since the May 12th power gap, and if you were with me in my room, I tried to explain it to you as many times as I could, and I keep mentioning it since May 12th, how important that moment was. Because we were about to have a little mini correction, and instead we power gapped above resistance. And since May 12th, the market has basically shown us that there is no chance of any significant pullback. Now, since then, we have now built a 9 month, sorry, 3 month, which are now new generational lows. So if you're like me and thinking we just entered a new revolution, a new industrial revolution, there it is. There's your risk, right? You think the market's going to correct 10%? Well, that's 58 points. Where does that get you? Get you right back to down to this level. You could take it, right? So if most people, and again, remember, people are just coming into the market for the first time. They don't care where it's been. right? Young people starting their new jobs with their 401k, they're putting money in the market. But then they'll break it down to what we do. Hang on, let me get my see if I can sell this stock. Looks like a $36 bid. It's interesting. Oh, it actually did trade. Hang on. Oh, no, that's not a real bid yet. I don't think it actually traded any shares. Anybody in the IPO? I just want to make sure. I don't know if I got a little bit. I don't know if you got allocated any figure, but anything Bitcoin related, I'm in. You want to give me some IPO? I'm in. I'm not going to sit here and not partake in the greatest bull market. All right, so I'm half. That's the proper thing to do. By the way, selling half of my open apparently wasn't the proper thing to do. So let's get right to that. And I didn't want to put you in some sort of melancholy mood, but you know what? If I did, good. That's what you're supposed to be feeling today. If you didn't experience 9/11, right? But now we got to strap in, right? I'll never, and I'll never forget Charlie Kirk either. As much as I didn't agree with what that kid had to say, man, did I like to listen to the way he spoke because he did it the right way. That guy. He's a kid, right? How old is that guy? 29, 30? That kid had it right. He would say, "All right, let me hear what you have to say. Now let me tell you why you're wrong to your face." And I loved it. And what happened to him, again, if you don't know, I was thinking about getting into politics for real because I do like helping. I do like talking. I have a lot of strong opinions, and I think I could actually have some good ideas to help society. And I genuinely like to help, but politics is such a disgusting place to be, and now you get murdered for it. Because, I'd go be out there talking about some 9/11, some psycho, you know, Hamas sympathizer comes to one of my meetings, and next thing you know, my kids are left alone. It's a frightening thing, and that's why I say what we do here today, you should, if you whatever you believe in, I just appreciate how lucky we are that we are able to do what we do here, come together as a community, share like-minded ideas, have like-minded attitudes towards what we're doing here, and make money and support our families and able to help society. Maybe you do because I do donate to charities. I was at a charity 9/11 event yesterday, and we're going to have this guy on our show in a couple of weeks. He runs different charities. One's the 9/11 charity. He's also the gentleman that keeps the Queen Elizabeth. It's by Hanover. So if you guys know New York, he keeps that area clean. He uses his own money. Obviously, we donate to help with that. He also runs a firemen and police charity. So great guy. It's a great event yesterday. Little band in the park, hanging out, listening to some Skinner and Grateful Dead. He actually did a pretty good version of "Sitting in Limbo," if you know that song from The Harder They Fall, Jimmy Cliff movie. So here we are, right? I went from not wanting to be here to saying, "You know what? I'm gonna do my job today, and I'm gonna do it as best as I can." And it's turned out to be a pretty special day because we killed it in this open trade. And, a lot of what people were saying, "Is it too late? Is it too late? Is it too late?" And I kept telling you, it's not. And then when I showed you the blatant rigging of the market, it was So let's talk open trade. Well, obviously, we've been trading it for the last 3 or 4 months. This is nothing new. What is new is that now it's caught on to a whole new realm. It's becoming the new GameStop, right? But we've been hip to this stock just like we were hip to GameStop. Me and my partner Solid, we were crushing it on GameStop before everybody was killing it, was going nuts about it. We were in that stock at $5. When it went to 50, we were like, holy crap. And then it wound up going, I don't know, 500 for adjusted. I don't know what Open's gonna do, nor do I care what's gonna happen 3 weeks from now. I just trade what I see. So, last night when I saw it ripped into the aftermarket, I was like, "Oh, man," because it was about to break down to possibly 485 where I was waiting to look to buy it again because that was some good support. They released the news that they hired a new CEO, which I thought was kind of that's a pretty big move for just the CEO being joining the team. But that's the nature of the stock and how shorts, who are always wrong, and they'll continue to be wrong on these momentum names. The reason this thing ripped is because people built their short position again, and then they had to cover, and the longs started punishing it. But the most important takeaway was the price, 859. 859. What a random number, right? 859. Weird, right? 859. Going up, went down, and then you come in tomorrow morning, and I'm thinking, "Oh, man, I hope I get a chance to buy some open." And here it was. Here you got that resistance at 8, resistance at 8, resistance at 8, resistance at 8, and then they VWAP, and then it came back to the 8, and then it rolled. I'm shorting, right? That's my reason to short. You can't break 8, you can't break 8, you can't break 8, you can't break 8. I'm a shorter. And I made a little bit of money. 8 got me 750. That's a day trade right there. Come on. Right? Boom. And then when it starts to rally again, I'm no fool. I'm not letting stocks break back over VWAP, especially a highly shorted stock that everybody in the world seems to be buying right now. I'm gonna take the money. I'm gonna take the money and I'm gonna and no, I didn't buy it when it broke over VWAP because I was waiting for another short. And no, I didn't short it again because now 10 minutes into the close, I was already, you know, having my moment of silence. I didn't even know if I wanted to keep going. But then we got the faux show, bro. Be convinced. We know the faux show bro VWAP break is a good trade, don't we? Of course we do. The faux show bro VWAP break on a stock that everybody wants in, that's your cue. Hit the button. Because in that moment, when you're buying it back here at 773, okay, if we're wrong, we're gonna sell it at 755. And if we're really wrong, we're gonna have to sell it at the low of the day and take a small loss. But oh my God, we were not wrong. And it went right to the 8, and we sold some. And then here, where was the magic happen, as it broke VWAP, normally we sell, right? But I was like, no, no, no. Let it breathe. Let's see if it holds real pivot at 759. And then it U-turned. And all the people, that green candle that were debating whether or not to get in, what do you think that is? That's a faux show right there. The shorter that said, all right, this time we're going to make our money shorting this stock. Yeah, good luck with them. They got punished, and we bought more. Now, here's where the fun part is. Kenny, is it too late to get in? I should have bought it at 770 with you. I should have bought it at 780. Oh, I really wish I would have bought it at 8. Is it safe to buy it here? Absolutely it is, I said, because it's going to go to 859 now. Well, how do you know it's going to go to 859? I'll tell you why. Because the market's rigged. See, I told you it'll all come together. Because the market's rigged. If a stock with momentum got to a price, that price is programmed. Now, it wants to go revisit or say hello to my old friend 859, 859. Now, as a believer in rule-based trading at 859, I sold 80% of what I had. Yay. And then it rips to 930, of course, because when I sell, stocks really start taking off. We all have that experience, right? And at $9, I was pretty damn content. I was like, you know what? I'm out. $9. And then here I started rooting against my own community. I was like, fuck you guys. I hope the stock pulls back so I could buy it back. And then lo and behold, it pulls back. It pulls back. Figures out $35. Hold on, let me sell. Somebody teach me how to use this platform because I can't figure it out. How do I sell my stock? Oh, they won't even let me sell. Why? Am I like trapped in this name? Great. Can somebody hack my public account and sell the damn stock out of my account? What am I, an insider? They won't let me sell? I want to sell 10 or 15 shares just to say I did. Ah, now I could sell. There you go. They're telling me I'm a flipper. If you sell your IPO shares within 90 days of the IPO, it's considered flipping and you might be restricted from participating in future IPOs or receive reduced allocations. Is that right? All right, I guess I'll go short it at my other account like everybody else does. Here, let me get a borrow on it. Really? Maybe I won't sell it. I don't know. All right, let me get done with the story here. So if you don't believe the market's rigged, right? We sold it at 9, or I sold it at 9, and then I started joking around with the community. And like, I hope this thing sells out so I get another chance to buy it. I'm talking selfishly, right? And then look what price it pulls back to, friends. Look what price it sells off to, my friends. You think I'm making it up? It doesn't pull back to a moving average. It doesn't pull back to a stochastic or an RSI. It pulled back to 859. To the penny. To the penny. Because it's all programmed. Like selling this IPO when it breaks 35 because that's a massive number. I'm already short now. 35. Yeah, tell me what to do. Flipping. Flip you. I'll flip you for real. By the way, I'm short figure, but I'm long in my other account. So I guess we call it short against the box, like the old days. Just made myself $50. I'm out. And I still own it over here. Look at me. I'm fancy now. Fancy. So let's go back to that trade that I just showed you, right? 59. 859. So now, my friends, I am rooting against if you own the stock. And not just because Rob Schneider bought it, because I have selfish, nefarious wants, right? I want the stock to pull back. I would love to see it testing 859 and not only not testing it, but breaking it. Because I don't think this stock is done at all. It just got to our major target. Our upside target was 1002, which was the pivot point from way back 3 years ago. Oh, you got to go 5 years on this chart. Actually, I'll show you the chart. This is a 10-year chart. But this is why I don't make money as a trader. I'm doing 5 things at once. I'm planning on losing all my figure money now. Son of a mother, I'll kick you in the face. I probably should short it again. Ah. So here's your 10-year chart. The pivots from way back when are coming into play again, right? So here's our pivots, right? You had this spot way back 214.22. We're talking about 3 years ago, and that's coming back into play. And it got there. So now why do I want the stock to go down? I'm rooting against you. I'm rooting against everybody. I'm rooting against everybody that owns the stock. I don't want to be a mean guy. You know why I'm rooting for it to go down? Because tomorrow's Friday. What does that mean? It's option expiration. That's what it means, Holmes. By the way, this figure just broke 34. I should have shorted it again. See? Fucking mother. By the way, I love this market. You were never able to short IPOs on day one. It was restricted. Now you just pay $10 and I get as many shares as I want. Sorry, $100. I just did 100 shares for 9.95. They let me get a bar. You were never able to borrow the IPO on day one. Now you can. You can short the shit out of this thing. By the way, since 37.50, what's it been doing? Slam. You know why IPOs go down when they first come out usually? Because people like me want out. I don't give a shit about flipping. Fuck you and your flipping. Should sell it. Flipping. I like how they warned me. Thanks. Thanks for the heads up. Get out of here. I'm gonna sell it all because you're pissed. Most IPOs stink. Actually, I kind of like what this company had to say and what they do. Still, you want to sell the open usually. All right. Hang on a second. Let me just take some profit on something here. Yeah, thanks for the warning, right? It's plummeting as I'm trying to sell it, you bastard. Freaking warning me. I don't need to be warned. Now I'm selling it all, you friggin' hump. It's going to, if it goes to 32.50, it's going to go to zero. I was just flagged as a pattern day trader. You think? I just opened this account because I heard you get IPOs. That's why I opened up a public account. Plus, they got a 4.1% money market account, which I love. I love cash. Anybody short this piece of shit, right? I should have nailed it at 37.50. This thing's warning me that I shouldn't sell it. Get out of here. You can always buy it back. All right. I sold the whole thing now. I'm out. Goodbye. Let me make sure I did portfolio. There's random brokerage. Well, there you go. My first trade with public winner. Thanks. By the way, do you know that you could short IPOs? Now you can. And by the way, now that we're trading this stock, let me go back to the open story for one more second before we forget. And let me wrap it up. Oh, we only have 11 minutes left to spend together. What I do here for a living, right? I used to get criticized for here because people will yell and scream about everything, right? Society, right? And it used to affect me in a very negative manner. People would say, "How that? Why should we listen to you if you're not in all these stocks?" No human being could trade as many stocks as we talk about each day. It's impossible. That whole skin in the game thing, right? And I used to say, "You know what? You're right. I am in the name. Does that make it better or worse for you? You'd rather be not in the name because what if I'm not good?" But now, all these years later, and you're witnessing it right here, trying to do 5 things at once and entertain and educate and do this thing, and now I'm buying this thing back. So hold on a second. I'm distracted. You'd rather not have me trading. You'd rather me do my job and find the ideas for you, articulated in a concise, quick manner, understanding market mechanics, understanding the power of the VWAP and why it's the only thing I use now to trade and how successful I've been, right? You'd rather not me. Is that even a sentence? You'd rather have me not trading and staying focused on making you money as I live vicariously through the success of my members. And if anybody really needs to know the history of what's going on in my life right now, my father still is long the QQQ from 2003. Thank you. And he texted me last night because I asked him, "You still got Oracle from the IPO, right?" And he says, "Of course I do. Who is this?" My father still owns Oracle and Cisco and the QQQ. And he's 80 years old and he's so I know that the Glick family is long a stupid amount of Qs right now. So no matter I could sit here and now after 30 years get paid for the expertise that I have achieved. You upset that I don't own open right now, but I'm guiding people through it. I sold the stock predominantly 859, but I walked people through it once it broke that price because I know how to look at charts. And by the way, I'm going to have to buy this figure back if it breaks $34.34, and I might have to buy it right now because why wait? Let's see. So now you see this candle right here? That's my stop. So I'm in. I'm in right now, and you can't stop me. I can already sell some now for $200 profit. Look at me, $100 profit, $200 profit. What's up? You want me in? You want my skin in the game? Here you go. You buy it at $33.90. Well, did you sell it at 34.25? You should have, right? I can't tell you what to do. Big size on the offer right there. So now if it breaks over the VWAP and holds from on top, we got ourselves a new stock. If we just bought 33.90 and it popped 40 cents right there, that's a day's pay. Most people would kill for that money right there. Don't sell it all right here. You get 34.50 bid, you're probably going right to 35 or get smoked like I just did. I'm not, I'm not selling it yet, but this thing's fucking nuts. Trying to trade and talk at the same time. Who does this? All right, I'm back to like 50 shares. It doesn't even matter now. I bought 33.90. I sold 34.20, and then now I'm still in. Now I'm losing on the other little bit here. I'm not overly concerned. I'll be concerned if it breaks 32 bucks. I'll be concerned if it breaks here. Normally I would take it, but now I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm concerned. But to round up the story, right? Whew, uh, it's been a long journey, and I probably should be selling this thing. I'm back to my original 100 shares. So I sold it out of my public account. I just traded 800 shares of it. For most of it was a profit. I don't care about this last 100. I'll let it breathe. But what I do here every day, right, is navigate you guys and my elder statesmen, my 50 and over traders who are starting to become day traders, like our friend Don Corleone, right? Guy knows more about the market than most people, but he knows his version. Oh, damn. That hurt. What the hell, you bastard? Oh, I guess I'm a long-term investor on the figure. You see how that works out? That's only 100 shares. Wow. Ouch. If it breaks 30, this is it might get ugly actually. Well, good thing I sold most of that. See, that's how I start swing trades, by the way. I'll do a quick day trade. If it works, I usually hold, and if it doesn't work, I usually dump it. I was planning on dumping it, but yeah, now I'm stuck with 100 shares. It's only 100 shares. What the hell was I saying? I don't know what I was saying anymore. All right. So skin in the game. What are we doing here? The best thing to do, right? And I'm teaching Don a different aspect of the market. Right? Don is a believer. Don, or the Don. Let's just call him Chris because it's a lot easier if you don't know his real name. His real name's Chris. One of the nicest guys I've met in a very long time. But we differ on our attitudes towards the market, right? He's a believer in fundamental analysis. He believes in analyzing the numbers. He thinks EBITDA is important. I think it's just a funny word. EBITDA, EBITDA, EBITDA. That's all, folks. And I've learned that my attitude towards the market works. But so does his. And he was teaching me about why he was buying all these nuclear stocks, and it made sense. I joined in because the charts met his fundamentals. So fundamentals meets technicals. Usually a good time to, put your money on something. My the story here is that, you know, what I try to do is I try to generate, they call it generate income. I wanna get paid today. And if I get paid today, then I could look forward, like anybody in SRAD, right? So with SRAD, I would make money on some trades, and I'd be like, "Oh, cool, I'll buy another 50 shares with SRAD with the money I made." "Hey, you like this V wave? Cool. Looks pretty good. By the way, anybody still in the V wave? I don't like it as much as I did 3 days ago, but I'm not freaking out about it. I bought more today because I believe, this is a longer term trade. I think we can break that 12.59 and 15 bucks of the weakness. X meets for me, be a day trader first. It's instant gratification reaction. If you're wrong, you're wrong and you're out, right? You milk it, you go to work using stops and try to make as much money as you can. Take some of that money, buy what you like for your swings or your long-term trades. And that way of doing it has kept me in the business for 30 years, and that's kind of what we teach, and then we meet new guys along the way, new attitudes, new stocks. This is the greatest market I've ever seen in my entire so much opportunity, and because I got my 9/11 commentary out, I'm feeling a little bit better. This is a really solemn day for me. I normally don't even talk. I sit in the other room. I watch the whole ceremony. I talk to my friends. I talk to my dad, and then we go back to work. You know what? Today I was like, you know what? Let's go to work, and it's been a great day. This last figure trade, but I'm not too worried yet. And that's the story. And I hope that we get to spend more time together, and I hope we get to spend years together because I'm not going anywhere. Things are getting better and better. I'm involved in SPACs now. I'm doing IPOs. My IPO is banging. You guys know about Angex, right? I'd rather see an Angex where it's not moving than, you know, if anybody's in Angex. Again, I'd wait if you're thinking about buying it, just do your own due diligence. It's day number 1. It's Angel Studios, right? I am I like their business model. I know the people involved. I'm a fan, but still, technically speaking, when it's fresh stock, I wanna see that $15 area be tested before I buy some more. It's just sitting around doing nothing, but do your own due diligence. It's a very interesting company, family-oriented entertainment. Take a look, and if you're in the lift with me, we got paid 100%, and again, lately making 100% on option play has become normal. It's almost like if you don't make 100%, you're doing something wrong. My problem is I make 100% on something, I usually sell 80% of it, and then it goes 20x without me. That's my story. But if you wanna learn more about what we're doing, and if you wanna be invited and you wanna get to know me and you're afraid to put in credit cards on, if you're afraid to put money down, just email me, get on my list, Kenny Glick at AOL list. Kenny Glick at AOL. Yep, AOL. Still got it. Why change it, right? Kenny Glick at AOL. Every Thursday night, we gather, and we talk charts, we talk market environment, we guest on. Next week, I'm gonna have my charity come on, I'm gonna have the Angel CEO come on soon. And we talk about options. We prepare for Friday's options, and that's why now I'll bring it all home as we close the show. That's why I'm hoping open goes down today because I certainly don't think the game is over. So if they break it on down, god damn, this thing is going to $30 now. Shit. I laughed because I was on the right side. I chose to take the other side. I was thinking, but if we do get a chance, if this goes under the 886, which is today's VWAP, holds the 859, and we can just consolidate there. Tomorrow, we'll be looking at some really cheap nines and 950s, and then you see how it didn't break 10 today? That's good. Don't be sad, don't be sure, right? This game is not over, right? They're talking about this stock going to 40, and I'm starting to believe them. So, it can't go to 40 without breaking 10, and tomorrow, we gotta go. And if anybody's in the Clove, yeah, Clove. Anybody's in SRAD, yes, but Lift, I still got the Lift, I still got the V Wave, I'm swinging some stuff. But the Open, I don't think this is over by any stretch of the imagination. But now the $10 calls for tomorrow, we wanna see the $10 calls at like 2 to 5 cents. You buy a $10 call tomorrow when this thing's breaking 959 again or 985, and you get your $10 call for a nickel, then it blasts through 10 and goes to 12.50. You're talking about a $500, 100 contracts turning into $25,000. Where that's the kind of trade I want to be involved in tomorrow. I want to be able to lay out 500 and look at my P&L being up 18 to 25,000. That's a good way to start your career. Email me. We'll talk more maybe tonight. If not, we can have an open house. There's going to be a lot of new ways. Stock market media doing a good job helping me get my face out there, helping people, and trading's never been better. Not and don't forget. Tell somebody you love not to forget, all right? And try to be nice to each other. It's easier than you think.